Hello everyone, my name is Maille, your Miss Northeast Junior High United States 2021, and today I'm going to be reading Bee's Power, who features a character with a port wine stain, who finds self-love. One Monday afternoon, Bee was having lunch with her friends. When she sat down with her tray, Bee knocked over her soup. The green-colored soup spilled down Bee's clothes. As she stood up, Kaz bursted out laughing. Bee's face became red. She felt like everyone was looking at her. As Kaz pointed at her and laughed, Bee felt embarrassed. It was as if he had taken away her inner power. Bee did not like feeling powerless and did not find it funny. To calm herself, she took a deep breath. She knew she had to talk to Kaz because maybe he didn't know how she felt. Bee tried to talk, but no words came out of her mouth. It felt like her voice had disappeared. She wanted to hide, so she ran to the bathroom. Bee saw her reflection in the mirror. She knew how it felt to get attention she didn't want from others. Bee was born with a flat reddish-purple birthmark on her face called a port wine stain. She felt that her birthmark was the only part of her that everyone saw. Bee's brain was full of unkind thoughts about herself. She could still hear Kaz laughing, even though he was no longer there. How do I stop feeling bad about myself? She thought. Bee reminded herself of what was true. She knew others really liked her and looked up to her. She was usually first to be picked to be captain in sport teams, and her friends could always count on her to stand up for them. She remembered her friend Alf had told her that she was kind. Now Bee needed to be kind to herself and to stand up for herself like she had for her friends. She decided to be brave and talk to Kaz. Kaz, I felt really embarrassed when I spilled the soup all over myself. And it felt worse when you laughed. I know you are a caring person, and maybe you thought what happened was funny, but it wasn't funny for me. Even though Kaz was surprised that Bee had felt that way, he knew she was right. He was caring and hadn't shown it. He thought about his choices. How would he reply to Bee? Kaz thought about pretending he didn't know what Bee was talking about, like he had never laughed at her. He could tell Bee that she was being too sensitive and tried to get her to see the funny side of what happened. Or he could understand that she felt embarrassed and apologize to her. Which one would you choose? Kaz made his choice. I'm so sorry, Bee. I didn't think about how it might have felt for you. The stain will wash out, I'm sure, although I do like it because green is my favorite color, Kaz joked. He smiled at Bee. She was smiling now too. Bee had been brave and talked about how she felt. Kaz had listened and understood. Alf and Dia, who had been watching, were happy that their two friends had talked about their problem and shared their feelings. Bee looked down at the huge green stain on her dungarees and wondered if it would wash off. As she wiped her hand on the stain, it started to twinkle and glow. Suddenly, it started to shrink, and then it vanished. The heart on her dungarees grew bigger and started shining brightly. Bee was shocked as a twirling magical light rushed out from her heart and spun around her, transforming her clothes. She rose up from the ground, feeling stronger, wiser, and better than she had ever felt before. By finding her inner strength and being brave with Kaz, Bee had tapped into her inside power, the power of being kind to yourself and liking who you are, the power of self-love. As Bee landed back on the ground, she wondered, were her and Alf the only ones with the inner power? And that was Bee's Power by Mina Minozzi.